Hi everybody, welcome to Gunpla TV! Sponsored by HobbyLink Japan. Let's never do that again.
Yes.
Okay, for those people who don't know what that is, that's kind of a Toy Tengoku intro.
Yes, they've had a lot more practice than we have.
Yeah, we have never practiced at all, and it shows. So let's do the normal intro.
Yes.
Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to Gunpla TV.
Hey guys.
I'm Sid.
I'm Ryan.
Alright, this is sponsored by HobbyLink Japan, and we're going to show you some Gunpla and other plastic models.
Yes.
Today on the show, we're going to be working with Pla Plate.
Tutorial time.
Tutorial time. People have been asking, show us modifications, and I've been very hesitant because I don't consider myself to be very good. But
He's getting better.
you can only way to
He's better than me.
can only go up, right? So we're going to show it. And Ryan, what do you got to show?
Okay, well I have this new Fine Molds Naboo Starfighter. This is actually going on release tomorrow, but we were lucky enough to actually get an early version.
We get an advanced copy because
Yeah,
we know
and
people at Fine Molds.
Watch Boss Builds.
Yeah.
Brian actually goes more in depth about it. You do get Anakin. I hate him. But anyway, and I'll talk more about my Falcon later. Sid, what do you have?
Well, I'm going to do the Pla Plate, and we're going to look at basic modifications of Gunpla model.
Sweet.
Before we do that, let's look at these kits here. So this is the Gundam Ace. This is the G Bouncer, and this was supposed to show up last week, and I wanted to show it then, but it never showed. So we're going to do it today.
G Bounce, eh?
I actually don't mind the design. You know, I'm hit or miss on the Gundam Ace designs, but this one, I like it. I'm going to actually show you. The box art's actually really good.
Cool. He's got like a crazy armor.
You can see he's got this this shield with this clear plastic piece. And one thing I wanted to mention is that the backpack that you see here, it can be used on the HG Adele kit. And we showed that last week, and I actually think that box is sitting right over there, Ryan.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah. That's why they wanted to release them at the same time, but they never actually got around to it. So the backpack for the G Bouncer can fit on the back of your Adele. And they even show you right there in that shot. Yeah. So if you're still a fan of the Gundam Age kits, this might be interesting to pick up because it's similar to the GXS, which was really popular. It's all white with that logo.
I like the armor. It's actually quite.
I also like the look of
with a bit of weathering and detail in there. It could be kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
Do they make mega size? Probably not.
Yeah, even the mega size.
I'm only interested in mega size.
You know what mega size is like, Ryan? Jumbo blocks.
Yeah.
You can't do Legos, so you got to do jumbo.
I can do Lego, but Lego these days is just weird.
Okay, all right, whatever you say, buddy. Okay.
It's not the same, like in the old days, you know?
All right, this is actually the one that just showed up 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago. Hot off the truck. We went there and went downstairs and got it. It's the Duel Gundam Assault Shroud. And the box art is wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big gun as well.
Yeah. Now you're gonna get, it's kind of like a additional armor. You can see here's, going back to the box art, here's a suit. And you have this additional armor that you load on top of it, similar to the full armor versions. So you're getting these extra runners with just the armor. I'm really glad that we have a master grade seed kit, another one, because I like the seed. And here we go, look at all the decals we got. And look at the size of this thing. Ah, master grade.
Sid loves these master.
I love master grades. I'm actually going to build this probably tonight.
You're excited.
I am excited. I could not contain my enthusiasm. Okay, before I butcher Gundams on television,
yes.
Why don't you show us your Millennium Falcon?
Yes, we will do that. I need a minute to set up.
All right. Okay, Ryan, now that you have your Falcon all ready to go, I have to laugh.
Switch this.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay, Ryan, now that you've got your Falcon all ready to go, I actually have a question. We had a comment from YouTube.
Okay, cool.
It says, Ryan, how detailed is the Millennium? Someone said that some details are a little bulky, especially on some of the pieces that you screw in. I guess you showed that last week.
Yes.
They're supposed to be pipes, but they look like blocks. Thanks for building this kit, he says. So, can you talk about that? Some detail?
Well, this is what I've done recently. It took me about 3 to 5 hours. You can see here just the difference. I don't think the details are bulky. I think they're actually very good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. And there is one little thing I need to point out. You actually sometimes need to screw your own little holes to put even more things on top.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit complicated. But yeah, you can see the difference. Like the amount of detail you actually have to put on this kit is crazy.
You kind of forget how detailed these models that they used in these movies were. Because when we first brought this out and we pulled this up, It's like, oh, just the shape. It's
Yeah.
the Millennium. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I know what it is. You're just gonna put some things here. But then when you start actually applying all these details, you realize, wow, that's a lot of
It's
stuff
crazy. Like, I'm enjoying it though.
on there. Okay.
You know, I am enjoying it, and I mean, just putting on these details just totally brings this kit to life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you just look at this, it looks pretty flat, but once you start putting everything on, and I'm very excited for when I start spraying it and doing all those kind of details. But yeah, I just wanted to show you what I have done. Now, there's something I want to talk to you about, Sid.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So this is actually the gun turret. So I'll hold this up. That's where Solo and Luke sit and shoot things in. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You can see you have the little seat with the little controller for your gun, and he sits in there. And the question I have, Sid, is I wanted to actually paint this. Like it says, you should paint this a grey and the seating area a black.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sits in this case, and you can either have this windscreen or a clear windscreen,
Mm-hmm.
whichever one you prefer, and you sit the gun on top here. Now, when we're going to spray the kit, and sorry, this actually all sits in there. So there's two of these, one at the top, one at the bottom. When we go to spray this, I'm just thinking, should I bother putting any detail in here?
Well, it all depends what you want to do, right?
So I'm worried that if we spray this, like I think that what I will have to do is actually spray and then glue this on, spray and then glue the gun on and then spray.
Okay.
Or just paint the gun totally separately.
Oh, what color is this going to be? The same color as this?
Yeah,
when you
pretty
put this
much.
in and then spray and then put the paint
Well, it
the gun?
depends if I go with the clear version.
Yes.
I kind of prefer the clear.
I think the clear is better. way to go
Yeah.
as
So
well.
would it be better just to keep these all separate and then just spray them, and then once it's all sprayed, assemble it?
Yeah, I mean, you have enough space here for your glue to work when it comes to putting this gun on.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would paint this separate,
Okay.
and then put in the clear part that you like so
Okay.
much, and then you can glue the gun on.
Okay.
And
This little piece over here just it fits on the side. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, once probably the most difficult part of this kit, or the most time-consuming, is just really the little details.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you get into a groove doing that.
Oh,
right?
I watched 2 movies out of the corner of my eye,
Yeah.
just building this. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What
You
comes
just
with the world
get
of
into
modeling,
it.
Ryan?
I'm always surprised by the kids. Like I always thought, like, oh, I have to get started.
Yeah.
But then, like after 2 or 3 hours, and you start seeing the detail and it start coming together, it's just a great feeling.
Yeah, you'll burn out a little bit on something that's 800 pieces. You'll get 600 pieces in and be like, oh, this is never gonna end. But when you finally get it done, like, and when you look at the finished result, you're like, okay, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Well, I just look at the little holes, and like the less holes there are, the better I
the
feel.
progress.
Yeah, as you go from this where there's like hundreds of little holes all over the kit,
Mm-hmm.
and like as you progress, like they start disappearing. So yeah, I probably say I'm 50% there.
All right.
But Sid, what do you have to show us?
Oh, dude, I have
tutorial.
some tutorial stuff, and it's gonna take me a couple minutes to prepare all this stuff. So, all right, so here we are. We're gonna start butchering up some Gundam.
Tutorial time.
Yes, maybe.
Not maybe.
If you look at the Dengeki Hobby magazines, the Hobby Japan magazines, and you watch the models that they have building, the modelers they have building for those publications, one of the modifications they almost always do on their Gundam is to extend the leg, to change the proportion a little bit of the kit. So that's what I wanted to show today. And there's generally 2 ways to go about changing the proportion of the leg. You can either make the thigh longer, or you can make the calf longer. And the calf longer, on a kit like this, the lower leg is already long, so making it longer might actually throw the proportions out. It might look worse.
Okay.
But making the thigh a little bigger is actually doable. And on this kit, it's pretty easy. So this is actually why I chose this kit, because this is the Strike Freedom, just the bare bones Strike Freedom. But if I want to mod this kit, what I'm essentially going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting right in there and inserting a piece of Pla Plate. Yeah, similar to the surgery for women.
Yes, young girls who feel they're short will lengthen their legs.
Yes.
I saw a doco about that, and it's kind of disturbing.
Yes, so that's actually what we're doing for here. So the reason I chose the Strike Freedom is because there's actually no frame inside.
Okay, so it just makes it easier.
Yeah, so I can actually cut away and butcher this piece up all I want. And I'll still be able to paint the frame and paint this afterwards and not have to do any masking. For those HG kits, some of them have frames inside. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be cementing this together.
Yes.
Like so. I cement this together.
Okay.
And then I have to decide where I want to cut. Now, if you look inside here again, you can see there's this little plastic line here.
Yeah.
If I cut too close to this line and I only leave myself this little piece of the plastic, it's going to be kind of flimsy. But because I'm going to be gluing, I don't have to worry about these pegs. I can cut right through the middle there.
Okay.
And that's what I decided to do. So I'll put this back together. Normally I would glue it so it would stay in place. But because we're going to be cutting immediately, I don't want to necessarily get glue all over it. What I do is use my masking tape here, and I will try to give myself a line. Try to get it as straight as possible. You might take a few times. See this one here, it's kind of not straight, so I'm going to go back here and actually do this one again. Get it straight when you're doing the tape, and then you don't have to worry about having a non-straight line when you actually start cutting. And there it is. This is a good enough guide for me.
Yeah.
It's relatively straight. Now, because I'm going to be putting and sanding and painting and priming, I don't have to worry about what I do to the plastic right now. So what I do is I take a dark pen, marker, and if it works, if not, just make yourself a line. Just go all over it. You want to be able to see this line when you're cutting. So, because when you remove this tape, you'll have that line. You'll know. So then you're going to need a hobby saw. And this, to me, a hobby saw is pretty good. You know, we sell a few on our site, so be sure to type in hobby saw, and you'll find a bunch on our site. Now, according to the instructions, they want you to saw starting this way. But if you saw it entirely this way, you're only going to get a corner at a time, and then you're going to be probably moving the piece.
Yeah.
If you move the piece, there's a good chance that your cut's not going to line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold it like this, and I'm going to cut all the way down.
Cool.
So wish me luck. I'll start like this because it's easy to get the groove started, easier. Once you get the groove started, then you get to go nuts. As straight as you can, all the way through there. And look at that go. And I'm not on my line, I realize that. That's okay, because the piece is curved. But I still got it straight, right?
Yeah,
if you come this way, and then you have to come this way, and you have to come this way, then you're not going to get an even cut.
We need a special thing to do that.
So here's my cut. It's pretty straight. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay then. Now what I need to do is to clean up just all these rough edges that were produced by the saw. And for that, well, we've got the sandpaper, the finishing abrasives. Yeah, so I'll grab some of that and put it on here flat and just do a little bit of this. Don't go crazy trying to get these off because you're going to change the angle and then you're going to end up doing more putting than you want to. Just enough. And again, just enough. This is good enough for me. I'm going to put it back on here. All right. This is looking good so far. So now it comes time to use the Pla Plate. And because, you know, I'm lazy and I like doing it the fast way, basically what I do is I just put it on here like this.
Nice.
Take a pencil, make this outline. And then rather than try to cut it with a hobby knife, I'll just use these big honking scissors and kind of cut the shape I want out of there. You can make it just a square, or you can actually try to cut the curvature of the piece, but you're going to be doing trimming afterwards, so there's really no need to get too detailed and precise on there. So with that, I've got this piece that would just be laid on here. And this is where the glue comes in. I got my cement. So I know, Ryan, you like to use that really thin cement to get all those pieces in. Me, I like to use the big stuff here, because I don't care if I get lots of glue all over this thing. If there's cement all over it, well, it's just gonna fill in the holes that need to be filled in. So I'm gonna get as
Is that
much.
brush normal on that?
Look at the size of it.
It's huge.
She said something similar to that
Yeah.
once. You put your glue on here. Butterfinger. Just dump a bunch of glue on there. A bunch of cement. Oh yeah, look at all that now.
Smells good.
Just for the sake of the
We
video.
have some Cypress Hill in the back.
Push it in there. Make sure that no part is overhanging, because then you're going to be using putty. You want to get it all on that plastic piece.
Your hands are all sticky.
My hands are all sticky. Yeah, I put too much on the side of it. Well, that's okay. If you are truly my assistant, maybe you can get me some kind of tissue or something. See that? I knew it. All right, so I'm
It's
gonna.
Japan. We haven't got tissues in this room. What are we doing wrong?
All right, I gotta leave this for a few minutes, and we're gonna come back for the next step.
Yes.
Okay, normally we would wait before we glue the next part on. You want to make sure this first part is set, but you know, here we are in the studio, and this isn't actually our job.
Sid has a job to do.
I do actually. People are waiting on me, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna glue the next part on. Yes, Ryan, please. So in this case, I'll just put a bunch of glue on there. And I will make sure that I put this on here and it lines up. Take my time to line it up before I really push it down. And once I'm satisfied with it, then hold it as much as you can without moving it. It's already moving, so I'm going to adjust it. Okay, and then I will leave it to dry, and while we do so, I'll talk about something else. Now, I mentioned how it's easy to do this type of kit because of how the legs are designed.
Yeah.
You know, I can leave the polycaps in there, I can cut, I don't have to worry about frame, I can paint. However, there are some kits where the frame is actually inside of the armor, even on HG, much like a master grade.
Yes.
One of these kits actually that I was talking about is the Gym, the latest Gym Type C. Now I was building it, and I was going to do this this here. Now here is what I've got. When you open up this piece here, you can see that there's actually frame in here.
Yeah.
Let me get this one instead. This is a better example. Open. Here we
can do it.
I can do it. Okay. You can see how the frame works here. You got a polycap. That's okay. You know, I can work with that. It can stay there.
Yeah.
But the frame, like if I want to paint this frame, I can't glue this and cut, right? It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never be able to paint that frame. I might because it moves and I can maybe mask it. But what I have to do in that case is to make some alterations. Like if I were to do like this, with this thing, I would end up with this. I did this last night just to show everybody. And you can see that there's no way I'm getting this frame out now.
Yeah.
And painting it's going to be a pain, right? I mean, I've achieved the result. This is now 1 millimeter higher, but it's not going to work. So what I need to do in this case is actually remove some of the frame here, because I'm going to be cutting right through there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to remove this part of the frame. I cut it off. You can see the difference here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take this off, put this piece on here, make my line.
Yeah.
Make sure your lines are good. And then cut them separately.
Okay.
Cut them separately. You'll have 4 pieces.
Yeah.
You'll have to clean them up and make 2 pieces again by painting. Once you get your plastic in the middle, clean them up, paint them, clean them up, paint them. Then you have to put your frame back in and do this. So you have to know what frame you're working with when it comes time to actually start butchering it. Luckily for me, the people who've built the Strike Freedom, if you want to mod this kit, it's not a problem. If you want to mod something like this, it can be a problem. And when you work with master grades, they all have inner frames. Well, then you got a little bit of thinking to do, right? So,
that's a good point, actually.
Coming back to this, let's just assume that it's dried. It hasn't, but let's pretend it has. What you would do, I'll use this piece as an example. Actually, is I was just coming with my side cutters and cut as flush as I can to the plastic. Right? It removes a lot of all the excess plastic. And get as close as you can, but don't go really digging in there, because if you make a gouge, then you're going to be having to putty it. I actually have an extra set of side cutters at home, just for cutting plastic that has been glued, because you're going to get junk on your side cutters. It cannot be avoided. Right? Once you get this, then you can take your sandpaper here and actually start trying to get that one smooth surface. And once your surface is relatively smooth, you'll know where you're going to need to putty. You can see there's these little gaps in here. I'll be putting putty in here, and then I'll be going back with the sandpaper again. And this is the process you want to do when you do this one. And I've actually got one here. I did this last night, just practicing. Now I've already trimmed off the edges.
Yeah.
So by taking my sandpaper to it, I can get it to match the contours of the piece, and then the putting is much easier. You just need the normal, Tamiya white putty, basic putty, anything to fill the gap. You can even use glue again if the gap is small enough, but you're just ending up sanding away glue.
And did you already apply cement to that?
Oh yeah, I did all this last night.
Okay, so you basically, after you put on the cement, you just sand off excess.
Yeah, you put on the cement, you let it dry, make sure it's dried, and then you're just sanding off everything. And because, this piece is easy, I don't have to worry about any frame, I can prime and paint this, and in like one step. There's no masking or anything else needed. You can see? A little smoother there. Yeah?
Sweet.
Alright, so we'll just have to wait for the glue to dry, and I will do this on this piece. Okay, Ryan, so in this episode we showed how to do the modification to the leg, to lengthen those legs, and I've actually got another copy of the suit here. I actually bought this to test paint colors on, but I figured we can use that as a comparison so people can see just what kind of difference 1 millimeter of plastic will do.
And he's a super leggy model now.
Yeah, I actually think he looks better, which is the whole point of doing the modification.
Yeah, you just, your eyes just travel up those legs.
I'm going to move this over here now and ignore what you just said. And I'm going to get on the questions today. I'm going to read the questions.
Oh, we have questions.
Yeah.
Sid is reading the questions.
I decided I'm going to read the question. Okay, there's a lot of them, and I'm going to try and go through them pretty quickly. And some of them are addressed to you, which is why I decided I would
it won't be like questions to Sid answering questions by Sid.
Questions by Sid, answering my questions. Ryan, why do you suck?
I need more questions.
Okay, so
I don't get enough. Ryan gets too much love.
All right, so we have a question from Stanley. I think he's a regular commenter.
Comic creator.
And he asks, I have just a little question for you. Do you have the Gundam that's called the MG60 MSA 001 XS Gundam? And maybe he's asking because in the old intro to Gunpla TV, that's the Gundam box I'm holding when I'm going like this with my sneakers.
When Luke comes up the stairs.
Yeah. So, well, we have that model, of course. We sell it, the HG and the MG version of it. I actually have not built either of those versions.
You going to?
I'm pondering it. It's quite sizable. So maybe that's down your alley. It's big. Maybe you'd like it. I'll show you. Did you not watch any episode intros that we had where I'm holding that monster box? There's this thing called the internet. Okay, so anyway.
The internet is full.
Here we go.
Porn.
Next one. This is from Wolf Shadow Studios. He says, Hey guys, great show. Hope you feel better soon. I'm feeling better, thank you very much. But not quite 100% yet. Question. Would the weapons kit work with other models of the same scale as the ones they are originally intended for? Now, last week we showed the weapon set, the second weapon set from Bandai, which is 1/144 scale. And those are for the real grade kits, but they're also for the HG kits. Bandai has included extra hands, which will allow the HG kits and RG kits to hold them. So that whatever 1/144 scale Gundam you have, those should work for them. Okay. And the next part of his question is for you. It says, and Ryan, are you going to build more large kits, such as Mega and Perfect Grade, in the future?
There will be a Mega size reasonably soon, I'd say.
Yes, the Gundam Age 2 Mega size is on the way.
Maybe the Zaku.
Yeah.
something big will come along.
All right, next question from Mr. Neon Soul. He says, "Hey, love your show. If possible, can you do a pre-shading and post-shading tutorial? Thanks a bunch." Now, Ryan, do you know what pre-shading and post-shading is?
No, Sid.
Pre-shading is where you lay down a darker color, and then you put the paint over top, and that detail will pop out a little bit more. And post-shading is when you put that darker color on afterwards.
Okay.
I've contemplated showing this, so
Please do.
we will get on this. But this might also be something that Brian can show on Boss Builds.
I think Brian did actually do it on his tank.
Yeah.
He did a pre-shading and then...
So if you watch the Boss Builds, maybe Brian's
Yes.
already touched some of
Tank
this.
will be done at some
Okay,
stage.
so the Strike 69 asks me. He says, "Hey, hi Sid, are you planning to do another perfect grade? And if so, which one?" If I were to do a perfect grade, I would want to do the Red Ashtray. That's the one that appeals to me most. It's still a newer kit, and it's pretty good. Like the older PG kits are good in size and parts, but maybe the articulation is not quite as good as you would get with some of the other ones. The Red Ashtray, it appeals to me. Okay, Ryan. Liam the Great.
Yes.
I knew a guy named Liam once.
So did I. Liam Gallagher from Oasis.
So you didn't know Liam. I knew a guy named
I knew
Liam.
of
He was
him.
pretty cool. I don't know if he was great. But anyway, he says, "Seriously, Ryan, you got to do some detailing on your Falcon. A simple black or dark gray wash would make all the sculpted
Well,
details
that's
pop out."
actually what I was thinking. Like what I did with that mega size, just do a black wash.
Yeah,
We'll bring out the details, of
Yeah.
course. So I absolutely agree with you.
yeah,
And actually, someone in the office even said I should try it.
that's right.
It will happen.
All right, so next, Super Robot Fan 1099. He says, "Hi, I love the UC MS08TX Ifrit Xeon model. Do you know if Bandai plans to make this model?" And as we say when we get asked these questions before, we don't know. We get the information about new models at the same time as the hobby magazines and various websites. So if you guys don't know about it, we don't know about it either. But he also says, "What could I do to make it happen?" Write a
Email
polite letter
Bandai.
in Japanese to Bandai's customer support.
Yeah.
And don't expect to reply. Okay, this is from Wah Buddy. And he says, "Seems like you ignore questions where we do not say hi, Sid and Ryan." And I decided to read that comment because he didn't say hi, Sid and Ryan, and I still read the
Yeah.
question.
But it's Hi Sid and Ryan does help you.
Yeah, that's right. Well, hi, Sid anyway. Ryan, whatever. To
If
Ryan.
I have to see both.
To Ryan.
Dear Ryan.
This is Mr. Substitute.
Dear Ryan and Sid.
He's asking to
Sorry.
Ryan.
Oh, to me.
To Ryan, did you know Bandai are cutting costs to produce master grades, starting with the Duel Gundam, which we showed, and the Gundam Age 1 Normal? Do you know about that?
No, I didn't.
I don't know if it's a matter of them cutting costs or more about just being more efficient.
Well, they must track what they sell, and maybe those are not selling as well.
Let me finish here.
Yeah.
The Dual Assault Gundam that we just showed in the show,
Yes.
it's a Seed Gundam kit, and a lot of the Seed designs are very similar. So I think what they're going to do is they're just going to use the same runners for most of those kits while just changing the armor pieces. And it's the same with the Gundam Age. We already know the Gundam Age suits, mostly the head, the torso, and the skirt are the same. It's just the arms and the legs that change. So Bandai is going to keep producing those Gundam Age kits, and all they have to do is worry about making new molds for the arms and legs. So it's, it's going to cut costs on their part, but it has to do more with
That's
the model
almost not a
designs.
sign.
Well, everybody's got to cut costs nowadays, right? So next question. This is Sweeton692. He actually asked a few one. He asked about the, I know I asked this before, but do you ever think you'll see a Master Grade Exia Repair 2 from Bandai? He says he really wants one. Well, I think if we haven't seen it by now, it might not be coming. But if Bandai revisits that series of kits in a few years, we might see it. His next question, do you have high hopes for the MG Age line of kits? Master Grade, I always have high hopes for Master Grades, but other than the Age 1 Normal, I'm not too keen on them. Why did Bandai cheap out on the MG Wing EW and reuse the old MG Wing Zero custom kit? Well, this is similar to what we mentioned before with the Age 1 and the Seed MGs. It's because you can keep producing the same frame and only have to use different molds for the different armor parts. Okay, Lee78072. He says, could you guys make a review of Pat Labor kits too? Mr.
We ever looked at a Pat
Mr.
Labor?
Lee, we showed just the D style.
Oh, okay.
They do make Master Grade, actually, Pat Labor kits. Lee, I will take your question to the people who make these decisions, and we will get back to you.
Great show, though. I'm a big fan of Pat Labor.
Yeah.
Pat Labor.
Okay. Vagabond Zero.
Yeah.
Will you review the re-released HG Seed kits? I would like to see a side-by-side of the old ones and the new ones. Thanks for the great show. Well, these are HG kits, and they are not too terribly difficult to build, so I think we could probably do something about that, very soon. This one. From Timmy J, 2814. He says, I have a question for Luke. If he is willing to answer, or have you guys answer for him? Well, I have decided I'm Luke's spokesman. I just decided that right now. The intros and outros for GunplaTV are very well designed. Did Luke go to design school or have any type of training in graphic design or animation or visual effects? And I asked Luke this question, and his response was, he did not go to any schools or design schools or anything like that. What he did was, he took aspects of things he liked on the internet, found tutorials about them on YouTube and things like that, and then tried them for himself.
He's self-taught.
He's self-taught, similar to kind of what we're trying to do with you guys at Gunpla.
Yes.
You want to build it, you watch what we do, you try it yourself, you find out what works for you, what doesn't, you keep doing it until it works, until you get it how you want it. That's how Luke did the video. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe he lied to me.
He just grabbed like something.
This is the last question. It's from Optimus2200. He says, hey, awesome guys. See, this is why you don't have to say hi, Ryan or Sid. You just say, hey, awesome guys. And boom, I will read your question. I am a Gunpla virgin here in Egypt, and it's super rare and super duper expensive to have a kit. And if I bought one and tried to make it super good and awesome, it will be my first kit, and I might add weathering, and I might paint it, and I might change it, but I'm still a beginner, and I want to level up, even though it's my first Gunpla, he says, and that's why he's watching this show. I just wanted to include this because I don't think I've ever seen a comment by anybody in Egypt. No. You know, we deal with America a lot, and Europe, and we get lots of comments, and to get one, you know, from Africa, it's like, Ryan, how do you feel about that?
It makes my heart warm.
I'm glad to hear that the hobby itself is, of course, international. We know it's international, but it really drives the point home when we get these kind of emails.
No,
so Optimus2200, good luck with your Gundam kits. I hope the price drops for you.
Have fun.
Just get that yen to drop, and your kits will become cheaper. And we know Egypt's in the news a lot today, so I want to say, stay safe. Be careful and stay safe.
Just build Gundam and stay inside.
That's right. Well, that's what I do. I'm not in danger. Anyway, that's
Japan in winter.
That's it for the show today.
That's it.
Next week.
Yeah, thank you, Sid. Great doing the
no
tutorial
problem.
again. So,
we'll get more of these in the future. And Ryan, of course, you got your Falcons.
Yes, I do.
And until next week, we'll see you later.
See you later.